Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get into it. All right. So shouts out to everybody in the room. All right. I hope y'all ate some barbecue and had some fun with some firecrackers and fireworks yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Or shit, you're going to be doing that shit today, maybe. Shouts out to Carla Lockhart in the building. What up with it, Carla? What's good with you? So what we got today is a story, all right? A story of habitual bag dropping. Habitual bag dropping. Shout out to the jackpot that was uncovered in Uganda. I don't know if anybody heard about this, but there was $12 trillion worth of gold deposits discovered in Uganda. Now, if you guys heard about this, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you have not heard about this, let your boy know. All right. We're going to talk about it. As everybody comes into the room, if you guys can, please make sure you smash that like button. Make sure that you hit the bell icon twice if you're not subscribed. Also, take a moment to make sure that you hit the description box and hit the channel section and subscribe to all of the backup channels. All right. Uganda discovers gold deposits worth $12 trillion. What do you guys think about that? Pretty interesting, right? Now, you'd think this is a game changer, right? You'd think things would change overnight, right? Question: do you think the first thing that they did was spin this not only in Uganda, just anywhere in Africa in general? We're going to read this article, all right? But what we're going to do first is we're going to watch a little segment from the Jimmy Dore show.
So guess what happened in Uganda?
Okay. And I want you guys to check this out. And I want to know what you guys think about it. All right. I want you guys to listen very closely to what's said. And I want you guys to digest it. And I want to know how you all feel about it. So let's listen to this.
So guess what happened in Uganda?
Oh, gold.
Uganda discovers gold deposits worth 12 trillion US dollars.
Should have kept that under their hat a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you keep that a little bit of a secret, because now the United States is going to be forced to bring the people of Uganda some democracy. It's coming.
Did they take down Chelsea Handler's Uganda Be Kidding Me special?
This is from Uganda Investment Authority. Mining in Uganda, groundbreaking.
So common sense, right? I got to agree with Jimmy Dore. I'm not too sure why they decided to just blare this out and announce it to everybody. Groundbreaking ceremony. The gold mine project, largest gold deposit so far quantified in Uganda, estimated at 12.5 tons of mineable gold.
Ceremony of Busia's gold mine project, largest gold deposit so far quantified in Uganda, estimated at 12.5 tons of mineable gold. Investor Wagagi's initial investment is $50 million and 3,000 direct jobs. If this is indeed
Wagazi. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Where do you think this company called Wagazi is from? It doesn't sound Ugandan, does it?
The volume that we have, it is time to clean our house and do business. in developing ourselves and our country by going to the middle income status and beyond, said Winnie Nagarabariri, mineral development expert.
Now, mind you, he says this, right? Winnie Nigaragawebi, or whatever, however that's pronounced. If this is indeed the volume that we have, it is time to clean our house and do business in developing ourselves and our country by going to the middle income status and beyond. It's time to clean our house, do business, and develop ourselves. Clean our house. The first thing they do is give the contract to mine this gold to China. The first thing that they do is give the contract to China. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up.
So they say this Uganda is like, this is going to bring us into the modern world. We're going to have a middle class. That's what I read. By going to the middle income status and beyond. That's what it looks like to me. In a bid to boost the country's economy, the Ugandan government has licensed Wagagi Gold Mining Company, a Chinese firm.
You see how Jimmy Dore looked at the screen? Because it's not common sense.
Mining company, a Chinese firm.
Yeah, that's the look that I gave. So you find $12 trillion worth of gold, and you talk all of this stuff about how you're going to clean your own house, and you're going to start doing business and be independent. And the first thing that you do is give custody of all of that gold that you just found to China. These are the decisions that people are making out here. Now, again, look at Jimmy Dore's facial expression. Everybody needs to look at these people exactly like that at the same time, because it's like they just don't get it. I mean, Jimmy Dore, who is a white American dude, is taken back by that. It's clear that there's something wrong. And my thing is that nobody sees it. So now we'll continue to hear people say, these are poor countries. You're poor because you're giving away $12 trillion every time you find it. Does anybody remember when Congo found the mountain gold deposits? I think it was just last year. Whatever happened to those?
Agi Gold Mining Company, a Chinese firm, to start producing gold products in Busia district. So it's a perfect place for a proxy war with China for the United States and to have it in Uganda. The company embarked on the construction of its gold refinery valued at $200 million in phases in the district in 2016. Muyita said that the discovered gold could start being mined immediately. Refining gold locally could enhance job creation and improve social service delivery to those living close to where the mineral is extracted. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has called, have you seen his Netflix special? It's fantastic. Has called for the local refinement of the commodity, calling any external refinery criminal. That's always a bad sign.
But you decided to use China. You decided to use China, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody make this make sense.
When you want to keep the money in your own country, that's when we come in. That's when we came into Iran and overthrew Mossadegh. That's what happens. That's why we want to get rid of Venezuela. It is criminal for anybody to argue for the continued exports of raw materials in Africa when there is 90% more value in that product than you are giving to the outsiders. So, and here's where Alex McLeod caught this. He says, expect to hear a lot more about human rights in Uganda in the coming years.
Wow. This is like a rapper wanted to have their own publishing rights. And then, like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden Biggie and Tupac are dead.
Now, isn't that crazy? Seems like everybody else sees it. It seems like everybody else sees it. What's sad is that with all of this gold that Uganda just found, the only thing that they did was increase their laughing stock. With all this money, all these riches, this buried treasure that Africa just found, the only thing that they did was increase their laughing stock. Unbelievable.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
what's
you
gonna
can't
happen.
do that. We can't allow you to have your own publishing rights, and we can't allow you to have your own $12 trillion in gold rights. 12 trillion. That's a lot of money.
It's not just sad, Pirate. Shouts out to Pirate, by the way. It's not just sad, it's pathetic. And what's even more pathetic is people can't even stand in it. And after they do such stupid shit, they can't stand the heat of getting railed. I mean, this is just completely stupid. This is just completely and utterly stupid.
Money. Say what you want. So
That could keep the bank going for 12 days straight.
wait, watch that. Watch how the media gets you to care about the people in Uganda. Oh, these poor people are under this dictator. This dictator is killing their people. They're taking babies out of incubators and throwing them on the floor. They're doing mass rapes. They're bombing schools in Uganda. That's what they're going to be saying. We got to help these people. Okay. This
Exactly. And that's why I don't have any sympathy. And people get upset sometimes when I'm doing my streams and ask, how can I say some of the things that I say? This is how. Like, this is how. And the reason why it continues is because more people don't say anything, because so many people operate on an emotional continuum instead of operating using logic and common sense. And didn't even give it away to anybody like them. They didn't talk to Nana Addo over in Ghana. They didn't talk to anybody in South Africa. They ran right to China. Pathetic. It'd be different if there was no other businesses available, no other countries looking to do business. Like I said, I'm not an isolationist. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to do anything with other groups. But I always look to try to do what I can dealing with other Black people first. This right here, this kind of stupidity is the exact reason why I'm completely against unity. Because how do you unify with this? Where was the Pan-Africanism in this? Where was the B1 in this? And then it'll be, we're so broke. We're so poor. We're so poor and we just dug up $12 trillion. They could have started a mining program where Black people from all over the world could volunteer in the effort or could work in the effort, mine the gold, and they have so much gold there, they could use that gold to do some type of reimbursement directly with gold. They could do some kind of payment plan directly with gold. No. Nigga, we have to get China to do it. Look at what I found and give it away. Yeah. just like the Negro League, just like everything. That's why habitual bag dropping. And the thing is that if this is how people want to live, if this is what people want to continue to do, and then turn around and say they have no idea why they're in the condition that they're in, what are you supposed to do with that? Shout out to my man AB Promotion. What up with it, bro? So we got 6 people in here now. YouTube must be kind of slow with moving things. I don't know. Maybe they're taking a notification holiday. You know what I'm saying? But if everybody could smash that like button, all right, help your boy out. We got 6 people watching. Shouts out to all 6 people who are watching. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 9 likes. My question to you guys is, what do you guys think about this? What's your thoughts?
I thought they already knew. When I was a kid, I saw a thing on PBS that said, this is how much gold is in the entire world. And they knew it. And it was a lot less than you thought.
Yeah.
Like they put it in like a cube on a graphic. Like, this is how much gold there is. And then they put it next to like the Empire State Building or something. It wasn't as much as you would. I thought it would be way more. It was a lot less. And so this seems like a big. So how do they, yeah, I don't know how they figure stuff out, but they're smarty pants people. You think they would have known about this, that there's $12 trillion in gold in Uganda.
It's a big amount.
The idea, yeah, it's a big amount. The idea that Africa is a poor continent is a misnomer because they have lots of natural resources that we extract. They just haven't been able to keep it for themselves.
There you go. When it comes to black people, it's never good enough to hear a black person say it. So there you go. There you go. So now, why is that? Why is that? And my question is, what's the point? Like, what's the point of anything? Like, this is amazing. And I'm telling you, man, people are so sensitive. They can't stand to sit around and hear this. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Because this is reality. This is reality. This is what's going on out here. Uganda discovers gold deposits worth $12 trillion, and the first thing they do is run to a Chinese mining company.
I mean, look what we did to Libya. As soon as they just they wanted to go off the dollar and all that stuff and upset the. That's why we overthrew them. So don't do that. Don't try to start your own dollar. I mean, maybe you can now because the United States is weak and overextended. We have 1,000 military bases around the world, and this is how empires end. And we're doing it exactly. We're not funding people at home, but we're funding war abroad and imperialism and empire.
So there's that. Everybody needs that money, and everybody's going to get that money. Guess who ain't going to get the majority of it? The people from where it came, because they are allowing China to mine it. Now, do you think China is going to be honest with the numbers? Of course not. Who would, other than Ugandans? Because I know if I worked in that mine, trust me, a couple of extra nuggets would probably be going home with me too. And that's our fault, Carla. That is no one else's fault but ours. If people want to be that stupid and be around other people and see other people walking around with full confidence, and people want to continue to act stupid and second guess themselves because they're stupid instead of trying to be competitive and move to a more competent level, then this is where people are going to remain. And if people want to continue to behave like that, behavior like that provides results like what we see, which means that things are the way that they're supposed to be. It's just the why, because people seem to not act like they don't understand why. Well, here's why. Here it is. Uganda discovers gold deposits worth 12 trillion US dollars. 12 trillion US dollars. How much do they say the calculation for reparations is? Is the calculation for reparations over $1 trillion? Like, this is damn near competitive with the United States national debt. Shouts out to my man Crypto Key. What up with it, bro? Uganda announced that it had discovered 31 million metric tons of gold waiting to be mined in the country after several surveys were conducted. 31 million metric tons of gold waiting to be mined in the country after several surveys were conducted. A spokesperson from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Deposits in Uganda, Solomon Maida, said that these reports are aimed at attracting gold miners and investors in the crypto segment. A bid to boost the country's economy, the Ugandan government has licensed Wagagi Gold Mining Company, a Chinese firm. Shouts out to Uganda practicing those B1 politics. What a national example of pride in yourself. You find a economy changing, a class changing, a status changing amount of money, and you run to one of the world's most oppressive and shisty governments to secure it and procure it for you. This is the epitome of pathetic, but is also the epitome of typical for the people who are doing it. In a bid to boost the country's economy, they look to another country to do their work. What kind of foreign or monetary policy is that? Shouts out to my man Keith Weston. What up with it? What kind of foreign and monetary policy is this? What kind of nonsense is this? To start producing gold products in the Busia district, the company embarked on the construction of its gold refinery valued at US dollars 200 million in phases in the district in 2016. Mayuda said the discoveries of gold could start being mined immediately. I'm sure they can. So here's the tweet. They wanted to tell the world. Facts, Bronze. What's up with it, bro? I mean, this is ridiculous. 12.5 tons of mineable gold. Wagagi's initial investment is 50 million US dollars, 3,000 direct jobs. Uganda now has 12 trillion or 30 trillion metric tons of gold. 31 million metric tons of gold. Not $31 million, 31 million metric tons of gold. And they decide to have a Chinese firm start producing gold products. I want you guys to understand how backwards that is. I want you to understand how backwards we are. because black people here do just as stupid shit. Like Jimmy Dory was talking about in that little video clip about owning the masters and different things like that. Just give it away. If you ever find anything good, just give it away. Didn't Public Enemy have a song like that? Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Or was it Give It Up? You got to give it up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Refining gold locally could enhance job creation, improve social service delivery to those living close to where the minerals are extracted. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has called for the local refinement of the commodity, calling any external refinery criminal, while hiring China to do it. Like, way to poke your chest out. You know what I'm saying? There you go. See, they owe 21 trillion in reparations. Africa just found 12 trillion in gold. And didn't utilize black companies for the mining. It's criminal for anybody to argue for the continued exports of raw materials while you export the job of mining the gold to China. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are these people babbling about? It's criminal for anybody to argue for the continued exports of raw materials in Africa when there's 90% more value in that product that you are giving to the outsiders, he said. While you sit here and hire outsiders to start producing the products. China is laughing hard as hell. Everybody's laughing at them. We should be laughing at them, other than the fact that we happen to be the same race. Jimmy Dory may be a jackass, but he's honest about this. Everything that he said about this was absolutely right. Facts. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? If you have a kid in a candy store and they just went trick-or-treating and they say, "Here, look at my bag of candy, count it." Like, you ain't gonna take some for yourself. Unbelievable. Actually, it's very believable. Tan Chun Chi. Look at this. Tan Chun Chi. Nice, strong African tribal name. Nice, strong, what is that, Northern Ugandan name? The general manager of Wagagi Gold Mining Company says that the investment has reached US $60 million. He explains that they have been lagging behind in construction due to the lack of the 2 licenses. The company has recently obtained a gold production license in March this year and has a 21-year lease to mine gold in Africa, in Uganda, and expect to double their speed because they expect to begin gold production by 2023. What a bag drop. What a bag drop. Ongoing legacy of habitual bag dropping. Shouts out to Africa. Shouts out to Uganda. The company has invested $200 million towards constructing a refinery facility, which all this money is going to go back to China. Despite all the gold discovered in the country, the mining difficulty is notably high, and this impacts the amount of gold that is actually mined. Around 25 to 3,000 metric tons are mined every year. If this is indeed the volume that we have, it's time to clean house and do our business in developing ourselves and our country by going to the middle income status and beyond, said Winnie Nigaribbi, I think is how they pronounce it, mineral development expert, which I don't understand what you're talking about if you're using a Chinese company to mine your gold. We're again living in a delusion. We're living in a delusion world. This is from NASDAQ.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if everybody can smash that like button and help me out, I definitely appreciate it. Nah, you can't be mad at China. There's no reason to be mad at China. China's doing what everybody does, taking candy from a baby. You know what I'm saying? They're exploiting idiots, which is what everybody does, what the coach of sports teams does. It's what Hollywood does. It's what jobs do. Pretty much. Pretty much. This is like Africa going to the slot machine, hitting the slots, and having China take the jackpot back home. It's just plain. This is plain. No whipped cream, no chocolate syrup, no caramel, no almonds. You know what I'm saying? Plain stupid. You know what I'm saying? Plain stupid. We're talking about the pastry without any sugar on it. Plain damn stupid. This is United. This is Delta. This is Southwest. This is Spirit. This is plain stupid. Yeah, I hit the jackpot at the casino, then offer it to my ex. Uganda says exploration results shows it has 31 million tons of gold ore. 31 million tons of it. That's enough money to damn near make every African, every black person on the planet at least up to the middle class. That could literally change the global racial wealth gap. You guys remember a while ago when I was talking about we need to create some type of spacecraft and claim that asteroid that's circulating around, that one that's made almost purely of gold and silver? I mean, they found a big ass deposit. Why not cut China in on the deal? Why not get the world's biggest economy that doesn't need a damn dime of it in on the deal? It makes it more legitimate. It's just like when a white person talks. You know how when a white person talks, you could say the same thing a million times, but it's just that much more legitimate when a white person says it. I guess Asia is the new white. You know how they say orange is the new black? I guess Asia is the new white. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man U-Law. What up with it? Uganda on Wednesday said recent exploration surveys have shown its gold ore deposits of about 31 million tons, and it wants to attract big investors to develop the sector, Hithro dominated by small wildcat miners. Over the last 2 years, aerial exploration was done across the country, followed by geophysical and geochemical surveys and analysis. Solomon Mayuda, spokesperson for the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, told Reuters. Mayuda said an estimated 320,158 tons of refined gold could be extracted from the 31 million tons of ore. I mean, those are astronomical numbers that are damn near inconceivable. Those are astronomical numbers that are damn near inconceivable. Now, how many times did I tell people that people need to start coming up with a damn space mining apparatus? How many times did I say it? Now, if they had come up with a space mining apparatus, right? They could be mining not just in Africa, but they could use the strengths of that space mining apparatus right there. It makes you wonder if what our African leaders are afraid to do. They do not want to compete on the world stage. That's what Putin said. When Putin said it, he was a racist. Of course, because critique hurts feelings. But sometimes when shit is true, it's just true. And if somebody says that this is pathetic, across the board, it's pathetic. I'm going to show you guys the Jimmy Dory video again, because I really need you guys to understand the facial expression that he made when he said China is going to be the ones mining it. I need you guys to see that. It was for a while there was nobody in the stream. It was just about 3 of us. But now that it started to pick up. Shouts out to my man DJ Elmo. Pirate was in here, and I think Ashanti Black and Carla were in here. But before I go back to looking at this, I want you guys to see this again. Because I think that it's important. Because I always say, this is one of the things that I always say. I wonder what it would be like to be a non-black person and just observe certain shit that black people do, what that would look like. I want you guys to listen, all right? And I want you guys to watch. Because it's just mind-boggling. Somebody's feelings are hurt already. We got a thumbs down. Go thumbs down Uganda. Don't thumbs down my video. I didn't give away $12 trillion. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 12 likes. And we got 12 people watching. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 24. And I promise I won't give them away.
That's what happened in Uganda.
Oh, gold.
Uganda discovers gold deposits worth 12 trillion US dollars.
Should have kept that under their hat a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you keep that a little bit of a secret, because now the United States is going to be forced to bring the people of Uganda some democracy.
And that's true. I agree with that. Me and Bronze, I actually sent Bronze this stuff last night, and we were talking about it. And that's the first thing that Bronze said. Damn, and they told the whole world. I mean, again, habitual bag dropping. Now you're going to have all of these big major powers. You know what I'm saying? China's going to be looking at this. Well, of course, China's looking at this because they're directly involved in it. They're invested in and they're mining it. You're going to have Russia looking at it. You know, Vladimir Putin is back there licking his chops trying to figure out he can get some. The United States, the UK. We's accounts, accounts are ours, are owns, are monies. Facts. We's the needs to pays the colonizers for colonizers and keeping us in the lines.
It's coming.
Did they take down Chelsea Handler's Uganda be kidding me special?
This is from Uganda Investment Authority. Mining in.
Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention. Pay very close attention. when he gets to the part about the Chinese investment. I want you guys to pay very close attention to his face.
Uganda, groundbreaking ceremony of Busia's gold mine project, largest gold deposit so far, quantified in Uganda, estimated at 12.5 tons of mineable gold. Investor Wagagi's initial investment is $50 million and 3,000 direct jobs. If this is indeed the volume that we have, it is time to clean our house and do business. In developing,
now, pay very close attention. Pay close attention to this. This is nothing but word salad. I want you to pay attention to how strong the first paragraph is, and then literally they do the complete opposite in the second paragraph. Facts, Black Star. What's up with it, by the way, bro?
business. In developing ourselves and our country by going to the middle income status and beyond, said Winnie Nagarabariri, mineral development expert. So they say this Uganda is like, this is going to bring us into the modern world. We're going to have a middle class. That's what I read. By going to the middle income status and beyond. That's what it looks like to me. In a bid to boost the country's economy, the Ugandan government has licensed Wagagi Gold Mining Company, a Chinese firm, to start producing.
Did you see his face? And did you hear the other guy say, uh-oh, common damn sense. Common damn sense. Habitual bag dropping.
Chinese firm,
then stares at the screen like fucking idiots. There goes your money.
A Chinese firm.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Jimmy either. But you know what I'm less of a fan of? I'm less of a fan of black people who find $12 trillion and then give it away to the world's largest economy, give custody of it, and deals for mining it. I'm less of a fan that this is true. I'm less of a fan that I'm doing this stream. Like, this happened. And here's something. I got something else. I didn't know about this. I found out about this watching Jimmy Dory. Because like you guys all know this already, I watch all the news. My thing that I didn't see was any black channels reporting on this. Just found that interesting. So I'm not a fan of that either. You know what I'm saying?
To start producing gold products in Busia district. So it's a perfect place for a proxy war with China.
Right, Law. Facts.
For the United States and to have it in Uganda. The company embarked on the construction of its gold refinery valued at $200 million in phases in the district in 2016. Muyita said that the discovered gold could start being mined immediately. Refining gold locally.
You know what, though, Crypto Key? This is a black issue. This is a black discussion. And black people left out this black issue. So what I'm starting to see is that there's like selective attention. Because I actually had a stream that I had planned on doing, and it was about the Central African Republic for my Tales from the Cryptocurrency channel. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you said one did? It wasn't African Diaspora News, was it? Who was it? Because I'm subscribed to a lot of black channels. Now, I am subscribed to some African channels, but I haven't seen a lot of their content on my homepage lately. Oh, Phil's channel talked about it. Okay, cool. That's what's up. Did anybody else? Because the thing is, like, technically, the way that people are nowadays, technically, people could be on some weird shit with Phil's channel. Oh, that's the African diaspora channel, that Pan-African shit. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's divided and shit. He has African employees that do reporting on there. So it might not be on code enough for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody's just weird as fuck nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I watched African Diaspora Channel. I actually like that channel. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I watch all Phil's channels. I think Phil does good content. You know what I'm saying? But I must not have caught that one though. A lot of his older videos show up on my timeline, but for some reason, a lot of times, like when the new videos come out, I don't never see them. Wake Up African. I never seen Wake Up African, Tammy. I never heard of that channel. I'm gonna have to check that channel out. Hold on real quick, DJ Elmo. Look up Alain Goats. He is a Belgian white man that owns refineries in Uganda and has a monopoly operation out there called smuggling gold from Congo to Uganda. Wow. I gotta check out Wake Up African, Tammy. I never heard of that channel. It's some African channels that I watch that I can't pronounce the name of. That's where I be looking at the information about Nana Addo. Shouts out to my man Carlton Way. What up with it, bro? But like, to me, this is important because it shows a pattern of habitual bag dropping. And to me, that's a black issue. Happens all the time, all over the place. I could give massive amounts of examples about it. People like to do embarrassing shit, but then they don't like to have that embarrassing shit analyzed. I wish I seen Phil's video about this. I'm gonna have to go to the actual channel page and look at it, because I wonder what he said. I wonder if he criticized them for utilizing this Chinese mining company. I'm sure he did. They probably them Ugandans probably think they doing it too. They're gonna be like, how come we only got 500,000? And then China's gonna massively manufacture a bunch of fake suns. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, we got 17 live viewers. Shouts out to everybody that's watching. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 30 likes. So let's get the video to 30 likes. Everybody smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you hit that bell. Oh, yeah, good. Well, Phil know what time it is. That's what's up then. Because that should be criticized. How you going to have this as the first paragraph? Hold on real quick. How you going to have this as your first paragraph? If this is indeed the volume that we have, it's time to clean our house and do business in developing ourselves in our country by going to the middle income status and beyond. How you going to say that? Clean our house and develop ourselves, and then turn around and boast that you're going to license a Chinese firm to start producing gold products. How does one do that? So DJ Elmo says Alain Goats has been operating in Uganda since the late 1980s. Much of this new gold will go to his company. I've never heard of that channel. See, like, I don't never get nothing recommended. I get stupid shit recommended that's not even related to what I watch. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say that shit that I was about to say.
Expert. So they say this Uganda's like, this is going to bring us into the modern world. We're going to have a middle class. That's what I read. By going to the middle income status and beyond. That's what it looks like to me. In a bid to boost the country's economy, the Ugandan government has licensed Wagagi Gold Mining Company, a Chinese firm.
I mean, why did, like, the way that Jimmy Dore looked at the camera when he said a Chinese company, this is what I'm talking about a dead survival reflex, about dead common sense, burnt out neurons, myelin sheath just peeling the fuck off of the axons in the neurons of these motherfuckers' brains. Broken ass synapses that don't fire acetylcholine. It's common sense to do business at home. You don't have empowerment by exportation of mining your own natural resources. That's exactly what Jimmy Dore says, Ulaw, as we get deeper into this video.
To start producing gold products in Busia district. So it's a perfect place for a proxy war with China for the United States and to have it in Uganda. The company embarked on the construction of its gold refinery valued at $200 million in phases in the district in 2016. Muyita said that the discovered gold could start being mined immediately. Refining gold locally could enhance job creation and improve social service delivery to those living.
Refining gold locally so that a Chinese company can be exploiting the locals and taking the majority of the gold. I mean, that's just, I mean, if that's not brilliance, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I mean, if that's not some of the most brilliant shit that you guys have ever seen, what is? Seriously. I mean, have you guys ever seen anything that competes with how critically thought through this was? I mean, they definitely didn't want their human resources. Look where we are. Can't let anybody forget about that. I mean, so if they did what they did with their human resources, I mean, what do you think that they're going to do with the inanimate ones? I mean, we see what they're doing with them. You know what I'm saying?
Close to where the mineral is extracted. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has called, have you seen his Netflix special? It's fantastic. Has called for the local refinement of the commodity, calling any external refinery criminal. That's always a bad sign when you want to keep the money in your own country.
I don't even understand how this constitutes as keeping the money in your own country when you're utilizing a Chinese company to mine it. How does that work? That doesn't constitute as keeping the money in your own country. You know what I'm saying? Last time I checked. How does that constitute as keeping the money in your own country?
That's when we come in. That's when we came into Iran and overthrew Mossadegh. That's what happens. That's why we want to get rid of Venezuela. It is criminal for anybody to argue for the continued exports of raw materials in Africa when there is 90% more value in that product than you are giving to the outsiders. So, and here's where Alex McLeod caught this. He says, expect to hear a lot more about human rights in Uganda in the coming years.
See, that's what Ulaw was saying. All of a sudden, U.S. will decide Uganda has a dictator and they need to bring democracy to the country. United States spreads democracy like herpes, don't they?
Wow. This is like a rapper wanted to have their own publishing rights.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Biggie and Tupac are dead.
No, you can't do that. We can't allow you to have your own publishing rights. And
no, I want you guys to pay very close attention.
Publishing rights.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Biggie and Tupac are dead.
No, you can't do that. We can't allow you to have your own publishing rights.
There you go. So just in case anybody was wondering if people like noticed the habitual bag dropping, yeah, they noticed. Just saying. You know what I'm saying?
So we can't allow you to have your own $12 trillion in gold rights. 12 trillion. That's a lot of money. Say what you want. So
That could keep the bank going for 12 days straight.
wait, watch that. Watch how the media gets you to care about the people in Uganda.
You see that? I mean, that's the same thing that that Law was saying. And with China being the ones doing the mining, more than likely that'll definitely be what's going on. Yeah, we look stupid. Yeah, and why would you sell your only international airport to a foreign entity? Why would you do that? Why would you allow ownership over your air traffic in and out of your country to a foreign entity? Why in the fuck would anybody do that in their right goddamn mind? Fashionable stupidity. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? About how a legacy of idiocy, subdued brainwave patterns, and just complete backwards ignorance is a damn problem. And the fact that people don't want to talk about it and don't want to deal with it and don't want to correct it, nothing is going to change. These are moves being made to keep things exactly the way that they are, because people are too sensitive to hear about how damn dumb they are, instead of being offended by it and working to change it, want to just go and hold their wounds and suck the blood out of it to feel better. I mean, while you're sucking the blood out of it, you know what I'm saying? These people can stop sucking something else too. You know what I'm saying? Like this is ridiculous.
These poor people are under this dictator. This dictator is killing their people. They're taking babies out of incubators and throwing them on the floor. They're doing mass rapes. They're bombing schools in Uganda.
No, bro. It sounds like 12 trillion to that communist tribe. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like 12 trillion is going to that communist tribe. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like Genghis Khan and them about to get it. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like, I don't really believe in all that tribe shit, but everybody that's on that rainbow robe ain't getting a damn thing. Except for maybe the tribe of Dan. Now, here's the question. Why not? Why not? Why did they hire a Chinese mining company? Is this how you manage your economy appropriately? So when Uganda still is having financial issues 5, 10, 15 years down the line, who made this decision? Who made the decision to start a transatlantic slave trade? Who made those decisions? And what calculations were done to tell anybody that was smart? Uganda used their airport as a collateral for Chinese loans and defaulted. This is a debt trap. Look at Sri Lanka, got Chinese loans and struggling. Debt trap. I think we might have inherited something genetically from that because a lot of people seem to have issues managing credit cards. Shouts out to the ancestors for those genes. Shouts out to the ancestors for those genes, them bad credit genes. Shouts out to my man Big Facts Podcast. What up with it? I don't have 12 million or 12 trillion dollars to go buy fireworks with, bro. Otherwise, I would. Otherwise, if I had 12 trillion dollars, I'd buy me a big ass firework and I aim it right at Washington and tell them, you know, it might be a unhappy 4th of July unless we see some reparations. I wouldn't give the shit to China. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they're going to be saying. We got to help these people. Okay. I thought they already knew. When I was a kid, I saw a thing on PBS that said, this is how much gold is in the entire world. And they knew it. And it was a lot less than you thought.
Yeah.
Like they put it in like a cube on a graphic. Like, this is how much gold there is. And then they put it next to like the Empire State Building or something. It wasn't as much as you would. I thought it would be way more. It was a lot less. And so this seems like a big. So how do they, yeah, I don't know how they figure stuff out.
$12 trillion, man. $12 trillion. I'm telling you, that could change the life of everybody. The ghost watchers are big mad. Thumbs down in the video. Keep being mad. But what you need to be mad is that you locked out of this opportunity before it was even announced. That's what you need to be mad at. Misplaced, emotional, brain dead fucks. You don't need to be mad at me for reporting the news. You don't like this shit, go thumbs down Jimmy Dory's video too. Go thumb down Phil's. People need to understand about the stupidity so that it can get fixed. Shouts out to my man RG Titan. What up with it, bro? People need to understand that in a culture where criminality and just unproductive ass shit, singing about burning your brain cells out, smoking weed all damn day, drinking all damn day till you get alcohol-induced dementia. Eventually, that takes a toll. And now we live in a society where information and data are evolving into the new forms of currency. How you gonna pay for anything in a society where information and data is a form of currency if you can't fucking think? I would ask if motherfuckers thought about that. But I guess that would be like futile. You know what I'm saying?
But they're the smarty pants people. You think they would have known about this, that there's $12 trillion in gold in Uganda.
It's a big amount.
The idea, yeah, it's a big amount. The idea that Africa is a poor continent is a misnomer because they have lots of natural resources that we extract. They just haven't been able to keep it for themselves. I mean,
how does that work? How does one get into that situation? I got a ton of money in my wallet. It's just that everybody takes the money out. I mean, Africa doesn't owe the rest of the world child support. Yeah, everybody's going in Africa's pockets. You think that the United States would allow people to extract oil here if we didn't get a cut? So what's the excuse? This is what I always want to know. When it comes to some idiocy, What's the excuse? Whose fault is it? Who's making these decisions? $12 trillion. They could have not done anything ever, like at all, and that would be probably more than a decent GDP. Like if they had produced nothing the entire year, but found this, that would be enough to probably substitute their GDP in total amount, money wise. What's on your mind, Crypto? Tell me. No, I don't know why. Tell me why. Tell me why. They know that. So the thing is they know this. Once you know something, that is no longer excusable. And it wasn't the Chinese that colonized them. And that must mean that they want to be there then. So that kind of cuts that out. That kind of cuts everything out. See, because what people got to understand is the present condition is the condition that you want to be in. Because in your life, everything that you do, you should be working to be where you want to be. So if you're currently aware of colonization and you're colonized, it's because you want to be colonized. So it's a moot point. You know what I'm saying? That means that no more discussions about colonization should be taking place because that's where they want to be. The same thing here. The conditions that we have here in the United States, these are the conditions that we want. Because if we didn't want them, they'd change. So this is what we have. Everybody's wearing the clothes that they want to wear. Most people are living the lives that they feel are appropriate lives. People eat what they want. People go where they want. So we have what we want. And if everybody wanted white supremacy to be gone, it would be. The same effort that motherfuckers put into getting the fucking PlayStation before it comes out will be the effort that people get into doing economic shit, business moves. People put a lot of effort, a lot of thought, a lot of strategy into getting PlayStations, into getting Xboxes, into getting Jordans, into getting Jumpmans, into getting the new LeBron James shoes when they come out. If that same kind of effort and ambition was put into important shit, it wouldn't even be a question. Everything would be done. So what we got to realize is that the way that things are now is the way that we want them. And whether we want them because people have been programmed or whatever, any of that stuff, we know about all that. So we should be questioning what we want constantly. Is this what we really want? What's the difference between what we want versus what we need? Do we need survival mechanisms or do we need breadcrumbs? And breadcrumbs are relative. I mean, what good is having $12 million when somebody can just say that's mine now? Which is interesting because a lot of those people were the people who owned the people that we descended from. So when did they go from wanting to be the master to wanting to be mastered? And honestly, in my opinion, that kind of takes anything going on there off the table because this is one of the reasons why I'm not with unity. I'm not going to negotiate how this is a good move with somebody because it's not. There's no evidence that Africa doing business with other foreign entities with resources has ever turned out good for Africa. There's none. There's no evidence that anybody can provide that that's done anything beneficial for the continent. Yet and still, the continent and people who support it continue to say that these people are doing things right. Yet, if you ask people that immigrate here, they immigrate here because of dire conditions. I would not consider it a dire condition if I had $12 trillion in gold under my feet. That's not a dire condition. The only dire condition is that I need to guard that shit with my life and get every last ounce of it up off the ground. That's what the dire condition is. This shit is crazy.
I mean, look what we did to Libya. As soon as they they wanted to go off the dollar and all that stuff and upset the. That's why we overthrew them. So don't do that. Don't try to.
I didn't know that was what they were called. Are they the most educated? Well, what happened to the math and economics part here? Is that why those Ukrainians were frustrated?
Start your own dollar. I mean, maybe you can now because the United States is weak and overextended. We have 1,000 military bases around the world, and this is how empires end. And we're doing it exactly. We're not funding people at home, but we're funding war abroad and imperialism and empire. And it's over.
This ain't
but
even
maybe
white.
we can get some of that.
This ain't even white people. This ain't even white people. This is China. So that also goes to say something else. It seems to me that, again, that's more evidence that the issue is internal with black people. Because now that when there's few white people around, now you're providing your resources to Asians. So the only common denominator in that situation is the black people. One group of people who's not black is there. They get all the resources with all the cooperation from the black people. That group kind of moves on after they've taken what they needed. Another group comes along. Same thing happens. The common denominator, which means that the problem is the black people there. See, that's how you do that shit with math. So now that kind of takes away the ability to say, well, you know, white zaddy. Oh, wait a minute. They're not around anymore. This is chopsticks and fortune cookies now. So now some other group comes along. All of a sudden, they'll be exploiting. At some point, like I said, there's got to be confrontations. And the first confrontation that has to take place is with ourselves. I think that's why in the Matrix, one of the first things that Morpheus had Neo do was look in the mirror. Remember that? Morpheus looked in the mirror and then he touched the mirror. And then the mirror started to go like all over his hand and then it went up his arm and shit. I think in Star Wars, shouts out to Solo, what up with it? Yoda had Luke Skywalker running through a jungle at some point. And then he went into the woods and was fighting Darth Vader. And when he cut the dream Darth Vader's head off, under the helmet, it was his face. Now, you got to ask the question, Crypto. Is it that they just love white and so-called like, or do they hate themselves? And the fact that they hate themselves manifests as if they love other people. That's the question. Anytime these failures take place, in my opinion, the way to deal with them is to deal with the controllable element. And the controllable element is always the choices that we make. Uncontrollable elements are elements that we don't have any control over. We don't have any control over what somebody else may or may not do, but we have total control over what we do. I think so too. That's what makes the most sense. If they had a certain affinity for people, if they had a certain affinity for white people, then they would reach out to European countries. They would reach out and try to, hey, EU, we just found $12 trillion in gold. They didn't do that. They dealt with the non-black people that were local. So again, my thing is that kind of approach, in my opinion, is outdated. And the approach that we need to have is where we look at the decisions that are made. Because again, if you look at all those situations, what's the common denominator? The common denominator is always the black people. When it comes to the Negro League selling out, what's the common denominator? When it comes to BET selling out, what's the common denominator? When it comes to Green Dot, I mean, people can say no. You know what I'm saying? If you deal with yourself as the controllable element, it takes away a lot of the influence that outside factors have. And one problem that we have with white supremacy is that white supremacy is always a fall guy. Well, why wasn't this able to be done? Because of white supremacy. What about the fact that you had a shitty ass business model? You half-assed it. You hired poor quality employees and you made horrible decisions from jump. What about all of that? What about the fact that you put yourself on a path to failure before you even got your plan in motion? Because the whole goal is to be dismantling white supremacy. So if your business fails, then I guess that just means that you just got beat by white supremacy again for the millionth time, since everything is because of white supremacy. What's the quality standards on anything? That's one of the reasons why I always ask about a code, because like when it comes to manufacturing and shit like that, they have ISO. They use like ISO 9000 and shit like that. That's the quality standards. What's the quality standards on any decisions that are made? Is there any kind of parameters? Well, the parameters of this economic decision that we're going to make is this going to put back 2.5% of revenue into our GDP. Well, there it is, Crypto Key. That's not anybody else problem other than black people. And what we see is a world where other people have power, and the people who are afraid, allegedly, to have power don't have any. So since people usually tend to avoid what they're afraid of. If you're afraid of horror movies, most people don't go see horror movies. You know what I'm saying? If you're afraid of heights, most people don't go to the 13th floor of a building, or they don't go on a roller coaster. If people are that cowardly and they're afraid of having and controlling power, then this is the correct form of the world. So now I got to ask everybody, are they satisfied with the correct form of the world? Because nobody should be forced to do what they fear doing. That's abuse. So then that means that that's just the price that we pay. We alleviate ourselves of any responsibility, of any self-determination. We'll let somebody else determine everything, since it's so scary. And my thing is, no one should be upset. If anything, everybody should just be thankful that they don't have to deal with their worst fear. Self-determination and responsibility of self-perpetuation. Right? You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be afraid of power and want power at the same time. How's that work? What's that look like? Fear is a mind killer. And that's one of the reasons why I always say people's brains are dead. People have brain dead. They have white supremacist brain damage. So my question is, how do you start the repair cycle? See, because we have a problem. There's a huge problem with accountability. There's a huge problem with selective attentiveness. And people tend to not pay attention to the things that make them uncomfortable. And nobody really gives a fuck about our comfort. You know what I'm saying? In case anybody hasn't noticed. I guess that's part of the price that you pay when you're scared of power and you leave your determination up to somebody else to determine your course of history. Black people have all the opportunity and the resources to take control of power, but we always give it away. So my question is, and I agree with that statement, Crypto. So my question then is, we're really just chasing a hamster wheel, because when this is the this right here, this environment, when you have opportunity and resources and you give it away, that cycle creates the reality that we live in. So if we've been a part of and contributing to this cycle, then the world as we know it is correct. If this is what it is, and this is the cycle we contribute to, my question for everybody in here is, what's incorrect with the world? I agree. I agree with you, Crypto. We prove it all the time. Re-engineer your perception and internal locus of focus. Yeah, I agree. I agree, DJ Omo. Now, here's the even better question. How do you get people to do that when people don't even realize that they're doing that? People hate accountability, man. They hate it. White people ain't the only ones that got an accountability allergy. It looks like it. Very frustrating. Yeah, I agree. Me too. Me too. It's frustrating to me too. So my question then is, when you don't have access to resources to provide incentives, how do you incentivize ambition? Honestly, I think that's why so many people strive to get jobs. You know how people always say, I want to get a good job, instead of I want to own a good company? Because you can always just dump the accountability on the company if things don't go well. If you if you own the company, you and the company fall. You know what I'm saying? People are scared of risks. They're scared to take a chance. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if everybody could smash that like button, that would definitely help the video. You know what I'm saying? We got 23 likes. Shout out to everybody that smashed the like button on the video. We got 19 live viewers. Let's get this video to 42 likes. Remember, we got the goal of getting to 100 on every stream. Every stream, every channel, 100 likes. You guys can do it. You know what I'm saying? See, to me, this is a cultural issue. See, like, my thing is, like, when it comes to, like, to me, just my perception, if we have, like, a culture that developed in a white supremacist country, we have elements of that white supremacy ingrained into our culture. That's why black people are so anti-black. But see, we don't call it that because we're ashamed. We have that same shame, that same accountability issue that they do. They have their accountability issue with the way that they obtain their power and the way that they obtained, this country and all the wealth. We just have trickle down shame because it's just from being around that culture, observing it. It becomes a part of you. Just like how being anti-black becomes a part of us. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is if we're assessing white supremacy, if we're assessing white media, or if we're assessing a police violence crime, and we got to always put the focus on white supremacy, anytime it comes to an action where we should control it and we should exert power and it fails, the focus needs to always be put on us and how we failed in order to correct it. Yeah, I agree, RG Titan. And my thing is that's fine. My thing is that's fine. That's one thing that people need to realize. So those of us that do want to be ambitious, we need to exploit those people first before anybody else can get to them, because we'll treat them a lot better than everybody else would. And I know that sounds fucked up, but I'm dead serious. I want to start a business. I want to own an enterprise. I want to take some shit over. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're scared, don't worry about it. I'll pay you good to sweep the floor. And I won't even say nothing if you steal a couple trash bags here and there. See, you'll have it better with me because I'm not going to fire you for stealing no trash bags. But if you steal some trash bags from a white company, you going to jail and paying a $500 fine. So if you want to get exploited, come get exploited in a humane way. Until you decide to develop some ambition of your own and go get your own business. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You get a job to take care of now and make the plan and use the money to start your business. Yeah, I agree. And in this North American society, people want to see money right away. You get a check in 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, the average profitability on a business is what, like 7 years or something like that? So it takes some time for you to develop your business and to get your business, profitable. But like I said, to all the dumbasses out there, to all you people that lack ambition, to everybody that just wants to drink themselves into an alcoholic coma or dementia, or if you want to smoke yourself until your brain is charcoal, come work for me. Come bring your stupid ass over here. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay you a few bucks better than white supremacy will, and I won't try to ruin your life. Since that's what you want to be good for, since that's what you want to be good at, since you want to be a bottom feeder, try to find the steak droppings at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going somewhere where they're going to starve you and feed you maggots. You know what I'm saying? I'll at least throw you some 86% lean steak once in a blue moon.
I bet we're going to try. July 3rd, we're doing a live show in Los Angeles, and then we're going to Chicago, Sacramento, San Diego.
All right, so there's that. All right, so I thought that video was pretty interesting. It's kind of informative because I didn't know about that money. I didn't know about that gold that they found in Uganda. So let's go back to that article that we were reading here. Most of the deposits were discovered in Karamoja, a parched, sprawling area in the country's northeastern corner on the border with Kenya. Large reserves were also found in eastern, central, and western areas of the East African country. Maeda, said Wagagi, a Chinese company, had set up a mine in Busia in eastern Uganda and was expected to start production this year. Wagagi had invested $200 million, he said, and its mine will have a refining unit. President Yoweri Museveni's government has been seeking to ramp up investment in mining to develop resources like copper, iron ore, gold, cobalt, and phosphates. Parliament early this year enacted a new mining law that, once signed by the president, will pave the way for the creation of a state mining company. I mean, my question is, why don't they have that already? That's who should be mining this gold right now. If you guys agree that that's who should be mining this gold right now, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. In my opinion, that's who should be mining this gold right now as we speak. I mean, I don't understand why they're not. So now here it says the company will compulsory acquire a 15% stake in every mining operation. Look at this. The company, this is the state mining company that it creates, will acquire 15% stake in every mining operation, and investors will be required to sign a production sharing agreement with the government. Previously, investors were given mining production leases on a first come, first served basis. Yeah, I mean, all of this stuff should go back to the people. Like I said, if there's any place that should nationally socialize to begin with, it should be African countries. You know what I'm saying? It should be African countries. Take those resources back. You know what I'm saying? So the other articles that I have, for the most part, are just basically reprints of the same thing. They're just basically reprints of the same thing. And I think I might do a video about this. Now, there's an article from Cointelegraph, which I would usually do this on the Tales from the Cryptocurrency channel, but I think I'm going to just do it here because it's in line with what we've been talking about. This is talking about Uganda's gold discovery, what it could mean for crypto. All right. Is gold becoming inflationary? Can Bitcoin replace it as a store of value due to its scarcity and reliability? Are Uganda's numbers implausible? Questions arise. These are fraught times for the cryptocurrency and blockchain sector, so it isn't surprising that industry proponents might seize upon any promising news to help charge flagging markets. A Reuters report out of Uganda last week about a massive gold ore discovery supplied just this kind of fuel. What does the state of gold mining in Africa have to do with the price of global Bitcoin? Quite a bit, potentially. And what is the actual price of Bitcoin right now? Let me see. They got it at the top of the screen. Bitcoin is under $20,000. Shout out to my man Albie Black. What up with it? Right. And not even just run them out of the country. I mean, if they're like, if make it like the United States, if they're gonna be there, run their pockets and make sure that you maintain the power. See, this is what I'm talking about the power dynamics. Of course, the United States lets everybody immigrate here because the United States runs the power dynamics. And that right there, RG Titan, that's what I was talking about the other day. I forget who it was, but somebody was talking about safe spaces. And I was like, safe spaces to me just means we can't handle power dynamics. I mean, isn't if Africa's not the biggest potential safe space for Black people, what is? And look at it. Haiti, Jamaica, the Bahamas. I mean, if all Black countries, a damn all Black continent isn't a safe space for Black people, what the fuck is? You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, is evidence that it doesn't even matter if we have an alleged safe space. Because we're not going to utilize it for whatever form of safety it is that we're supposed to be using it for. They clearly don't use it for economic safety. They don't use it for military safety. What kind of safety and security can anybody get in any of these all Black places? They dig up some gold. It's not safe. Somebody else already got their hands in it. Why is that? As long as we got white supremacy as a fallback, we'll never be able to figure out what the problems are that we contribute to that cause us to not be able to achieve things that we're looking to achieve. My thing is, I'll be Black, who's making the spaces not safe? You know what I'm saying? Who's making it where we don't have spaces? And when we do have spaces, are they managed? And my thing is, it's not unfortunately, that's the way that we treat it. That's what we do to it. Those are our choices to create unfortunate situations. Like, it's not like this shit just don't randomly happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, some shit just didn't spontaneously combust. There was negligence, there's mismanagement, there's misappropriation. You know what I mean? Like, we cannot ignore that. See, you're supposed to focus on mistakes and fix the mistakes. Many people have such fragile egos that we have to ignore the mistakes to not have a complete meltdown. Go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can go ahead and melt down and shit and just keep being how things are. You know what I'm saying? The only controllable elements are the things that we do. I don't think other people are interested in solving our problems. Honestly, I don't think that they're obliged to either. So my thing is, you have to ask yourself, what's wrong with the mentality of that? And why is that mindset a perpetual thing? Because see, I don't have that mindset. So does that make me abnormal? Because like I don't have the same mindset as a lot of motherfuckers. So does that make me an abnormal black person? Does that make me a deformed black person? Does that make me an irregular black person? Because when you talk about normalization, normalization is what appears most often. So when we talk about these collectives, and I always said, I tell people, pay very close attention to what you attribute to the community. People always sit there and say, well, us black people, pay very close attention to that. So if it is a us black people thing, then that means that all of the negative stuff that people say is the normal condition. So if you're a black person that's not with all that dumbass shit, does that make you abnormal? Does that make you defective? What does that make you? Because if everybody else is going around saying that we have all of these mentalities, and maybe there's like 2 or 3 of us that aren't, did we bump our head or did we fall? Did our mom drop us when we were young? My thing is, most people are unplugged from the conditioning. There's not one black person on the planet alive today that's not aware of any kind of conditioning. But people still choose to play with it. It's like Cypher on the Matrix. Cypher knew that there was a Matrix. He knew damn well that there was a Matrix. He sat down. He sat down and did business with Agent Smith. So my thing is what does a collective of people that wants to succumb to conditioning deserve? Where should their place be in a societal food chain? If there's conditioning that occurs, and we know that there's conditioning that occurs, and people choose to do nothing about it and continue to succumb to the conditioning, where do you belong on the world totem pole? At the bottom. Facts. So my thing is at the absolute bottom. And I mean, that's where we are. So again, like that's that question that I got to ask. By that very logic, then it seems to me like there is the world correct or is it incorrect? I mean, what do people do with the books that people write? Like, what do people do with Powernomics? What do people do with Neely Fuller's Code book? What's done with those things? And people will say conditioning, right? And then there's those books. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Torian Rain was recently talking about it on a live stream. The Black Bible. So that's my question. And see, that's a thing that people don't like to think about. There's a difference between talking a good game and playing a good game. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference between talking a good game and playing a good game. I don't want to talk a good game. Like, I don't want to talk at all. I just want to win when I play. I don't think that people want to win. You know what I think? I think what we have is an oppression reality show because motherfuckers love drama so much. We wake up into our own drama every day. Every day, it's a new way that we could talk about some shit that happened. Just recently, that dude, Jalen Walker, rest in peace, was gunned down by the police. We got a new, oh, look what was done to us today. Look what was done to us today. During that Powernomics speech, Dr. Claude Anderson talked about inappropriate behavior of Black people, and like that inappropriate behavior is getting progressively worse. It's getting so progressively worse, like it's like metastatic. And the thing is that there's people pay attention. And my thing is, why would people not want to correct it? I mean, if everybody knows the answer of why we're doing so bad, why are we still doing that bad? Like, if there's an engineering problem, right? Like, okay, I have this vehicle that I've made a prototype for, and when I steer the car, it pulls 3 degrees over too far from the way that I turn the steering wheel. So I know I need to change these ball bearings, and I need to tighten the resistance on the coil. So now I fixed the mistake. Now the car turns properly. Now, here's my question. You say 85% are plugged in without even knowing. How many Black people do you think talk about and know about white supremacy? Because literally anytime anything happens to anybody, in most cases, they say that it's racism. Even when it's not. You know those times when it's not. There's a lot of times, in most cases, there always are elements of racism, but then other times it's just not. Certain motherfuckers come to work and literally don't do shit the entire time that they're at work. And then they get fired, and they got fired because they was Black. You might have gotten fired before a lazy white person, right? If it's two of y'all that's lazy, the company ain't gonna pay both of y'all. They're gonna fire the Black one first. But what you got fired for was because you sat there for 12 hours and didn't do shit. Yeah, boozy at the bank, right? So, and then when you go home and you get upset and you know what I'm saying, you talking with your parents, or you know what I'm saying, you talking about what happened. I lost my job today. Why? Because my job racist. Well, why is your job racist? Because they fired me. No, your job is racist because it was two of y'all that wasn't doing shit. And of course, the job chose you. But you wouldn't have got looked at yet had you at least been attempting to do your job instead of sitting around boldly watching your phone and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? While your boss was there, because I go to my job and do whatever I want. So my thing is, I think that there's a higher amount. I think there's more people that know. I'm not. People ain't getting out of it that easy with me. These motherfuckers know. Where they been at if they don't know? They've been on the same planet as us. Where they been at if they don't know? What have they been seeing around them? That's the question. What have they been seeing around them? What have they been observing their time alive and coherent? There you go. Lost in the white sauce on TV. I think most live in a world of denial. I think so too. In a world of denial that they constructed and put together themselves. See, like, think about this, right? Physical, right? We always talk about the fight or flight response, right? Fight or flight. When you come into physical danger in nature, you can either confront it and fight it, or you can take flight. You can run away, get out of the situation. But we never talk about psychological fight or flight. Psychological flight is disassociation. See, disassociation is worse than denial. It's late stage denial. You guys ever heard of disassociation syndrome? How many people in here have ever heard of disassociation syndrome? If you ever heard of disassociation syndrome, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you haven't, give me a thumbs down. They think it's safer to ignore what's really going on. Yeah, I agree. That's a psychological issue. The same way white people psychologically ignore the fact that they have racism built into their culture. So, Albie Black, since you know about dissociative syndrome, would it be an accurate statement to make to say, I observe disassociation syndrome in most black people that I come in contact with? Not just most black people, most people, period. Disassociation syndrome is basically, I'm white and I say so, for something that you don't like that happened that's in reality. Well, this is some fucked up shit that happened, and I'm just not gonna deal with it. So I'm gonna not exist it out of my head. And then you literally just walk around and continue about life like that shit just doesn't exist, didn't happen. My thing is with the distractions, though, Crypto Key, is if you've identified a distraction, it's not a distraction anymore. It's a choice. At the point that you've identified a distraction, see, distractions aren't identified. Distractions actually distract. Like if I'm coming down the court with the basketball and I cross you over, that crossover was a distraction. Now I can fake you out and break your ankles, or if you detect that I'm going to do a crossover because you've been watching tapes of how I play basketball, then you can make a choice on how to defend me. You can back up a little bit and maybe I'll take a shot, or you can get up close and keep me from getting to the basket. Once you've identified a distraction, it's no longer a distraction. So most people are operating with a baseline disassociation syndrome. So when it comes to black people, what is it that we're disassociated from? Other than reality. And if you say reality, you got to be specific. So now here it says Bitcoin has periodically laid claim to being digital gold, largely on the strength of its strict 21 million supply limit, which makes it non-inflationary and a good store of value in theory. Gold, of course, is the store of value par excellence, with a limited supply and a solid track record that goes back millennia. But if Uganda is sitting on 31 million metric tons of gold ore, as the government declared, might not that substantially boost the world's gold supply? That could, in turn, lower the price of gold and make it less secure of a store of value. Gold's loss could be the cryptocurrency's gain. Crypto Key says, me and mother talk about that all the time. Yeah, it's real. And my thing is, you should always default to most people choose to be clueless. I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. And the reason why I don't give people the benefit of the doubt is because when you do further testing or when you push somebody a little bit, in most cases, you then find that they're more aware of things than you think. People always like to have a little bit of admirable ignorance, amicable stupidity. Well, I just didn't know, but you did. You did know. And if you didn't know, you knew you had a question about it and you chose not to ask it, which is just as bad as knowing. See, like, I don't let motherfuckers get away with anything. Well, were you unsure? Yeah, I'm unsure. Okay, well, you had identified that you were unsure and you never went to seek the answer. That's the same as knowing and ignoring. Right. Being clueless is safer in this society, according to them. Has that proven to be true? Does the evidence support that? I don't think that any evidence adequately supports that. I don't think any evidence adequately supports that at all. Right, until it's not. Until you find yourself in a casket. Until you find yourself in a jail cell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's big facts. So now here it says some drew encouragement from this notion. MicroStrategy's CEO Michael Saylor, for instance, posted a video on Twitter about the Ugandan discovery of huge gold deposits, which might net 320,128 metric tons of refined gold, valued at 12.8 million. As Saylor noted, on June 17th, gold is plentiful, Bitcoin is scarce, further telling CNBC. Every commodity in the world has looked good in a hyperinflationary environment, but the dirty secret is you can make more oil, You can make more silver. You can make more gold. Bitcoin is the only thing that looks like a commodity that is scarce and capped. But perhaps there is less here than meets the eye. The 320,158 metric tons refined gold that the Ugandan mining ministry spokesperson said could be produced from the new deposits in the country's northeastern corner would far exceed the 200,000 metric tons in above ground gold that exists in the entire world today. In that deposit that the Ugandans found, there's more gold there than exists in the entire world. There's more gold in that than the entire world, guys. What do you guys think about that? That's fascinating. Shout out to everybody watching. We got 28 live viewers. Or I'm sorry, we got 20 live viewers. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 48. So let's get the video to 48 likes. And that's what this article is getting at, Crypto. This article is getting at they're going to more than double the world gold supply with this, and that might prove to boost the worth and the price of crypto. Right. Right, man. That's a good question. One gold mining trade publication went so far as to suggest the Ugandan government may have been confusing metric tons with ounces in its projections. No, I don't think so. That's that kind of covert racism. These motherfuckers are so dumb. Like, stop it with that shit. The World Gold Council was asked for comment about the Uganda discovery and plausibility of its numbers. I mean, they know that Africa is resource rich. They literally just found a huge gold deposit in some mountains a couple years ago. So now here it says the council doesn't typically comment on media reports of gold discoveries, a spokesperson told Cointelegraph, but added, in the absence of formal ore reserve resource declarations, we would not expect to see these discoveries contribute materially to mine supply in the foreseeable future. But to the larger issue, Saylor may have a point. The fact that more gold can always be mined, whether in Uganda or somewhere else, especially with advances in surveying and mining technologies, including aerial exploration? And if so, doesn't this make Bitcoin, with its strict 21 million Bitcoin limit, look non-inflationary by comparison and potentially a better store of value? Garrick Heilman, head of research at blockchain.com, told Telegraph, Ugandan find underscores why the approximately 200 million holders of Bitcoin believe that their digital gold, Bitcoin, is superior to actual gold in terms of its scarcity and reliability as a store of value in the decades to come. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Bitcoin actually has a chance of being more valuable and more of a store of value than gold? Yeah, I agree, Muffet. If you guys agree with Muffet, give me a thumbs up. That may pave the way for alternative currency connected to a gold standard that BRIC countries and the allies are looking to create. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think that's a possibility. So now here it says, as was the case with other major gold discoveries in histories, like the 19th century South African gold rush, the indoctrination of this much new gold, or even growing awareness of the Ugandan find, could have significant negative price implications for gold over the coming years. Not all agree with this assessment, however. people label Bitcoin as digital gold because it was considered a hedging aspect, especially against the stock market. This has not been true, at least for 3 to 4 years. Eshwar Vengupal, assistant professor in the Department of Finance at the University of Central Florida, told Cointelegraph, increasing participation of institutional investors means Bitcoin is now more correlated with risky assets like equities, whereas a store of value instrument should be uncorrelated with the stock market, added Vengupal. When institutional investors enter such markets, their usual trading stop loss limits apply and their assets in the portfolio and by extension the market become positively correlated with each other. The fact that Bitcoin is bought and sold just like any other risky asset undermines the digital gold tag given to it. And that's interesting because he based that on market behavior, those criteria. Yeah, they found that mountain of gold in Congo. Facts, Muffet. And my question is, where is that money at today? Has anybody seen it? Has anybody heard what it was being spent on? Like, what's going on with it? So now the rest of this article, and you know what? I actually think I am gonna do this article for Tales from the Cryptocurrency. Or actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this for my Auditing Africa video. I'm gonna do this for my Auditing Africa video. Because this actually correlates with what I'm going to be talking about on there with Congo. Yeah. We don't have any idea what happened with the gold from Congo. I bet you China knows where it's at. I bet you that's one group of people that knows where it's at is Chinese people. You know what I'm saying? So I got some more content and some more streams and some videos that I want to try to get out for you guys today. I'm going to start posting those premiere videos on this channel too. All right. So make sure that you guys are subscribed. If you haven't hit the bell icon, make sure you hit it. If you're not subscribed to the backup channels, make sure you hit the backup channels. Make sure that you stay in this stream. And when you get taken to the next stream premiere, you hit the bell icon so that you are able to get a notification when it goes live. And I will catch you all with some more content a little bit later. All right.